arranged all this just to have a moment alone with you. You are my agent. I have arranged all this just to have a moment alone with you.
Hey everyone, Maslow here, coming at you from the highest possible vantage point. So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be doing an anime review. It's a little bit different than my normal content, but I do watch a lot of anime, and I feel like I'll be able to put out more content if I do some stuff like this that's kind of unrelated to the main channel's content. So today, I'm going to be reviewing Zankyou no Terror. English title is Terror in Resonance, and it's created by the director Shinichiro Watanabe, and that's the same director as Samurai Champloo, Macross, what else did he do? Space Dandy, just to name a few. Oh, Cowboy Bebop, of course. He also did Cowboy Bebop. Super famous anime. So he was the director on all those. He also directed this anime here. And I really enjoyed it. Straight off the bat, I'm going to say I would strongly recommend it. I enjoyed it. I was immersed and enthralled. I didn't feel like any episode really let me down. It's only 11 episodes long, I believe. But each episode, the stakes felt high. I felt like there was a lot at stake. There were lots of risks, and I was pretty much on the edge of my seat till the very last episode. So, just a little bit of a warning. There might be a few spoilers. Probably not a whole lot. I'll talk about what happens in the first episode mostly, and then I might talk about the last episode, and I'll give an additional spoiler alert if I talk about that and mention specifically what happens in the last episode. But yeah, maybe mild spoilers. So, first off, gotta say, this is one thing that's negative. The opening theme kind of annoyed me. Didn't really like it. Thought they could have gone with something a little bit different, but, it wasn't terrible. But I was getting annoyed by the last episode. The ending theme, the song, as well as the animation, both excellent. Excellent choice. They really fit with, the whole feel of the show. So I really enjoyed the ending theme. The animation was on point. Really on point. Gotta give it to them. Everything looks crisp and clean. The explosions look really cool too. Everything was animated really well. Sound was good too. And just getting into kind of what happens in the first episode, we're introduced to our two main characters. They're named 9 and 12. Right off the bat, kind of weird names. But they're seen stealing this plutonium that, we're led to believe that they're going to make an atom bomb out of it. And these are our two protagonists. And basically they're kind of like terrorists that are hiding from the law. They're like a step ahead of the law, always. They're making explosives and stuff in their apartment. And, involved in all kinds of crazy stuff. They have a bunch of cell phones that they use as detonators. But they seem really smart, really intelligent, and like a step ahead of the police. Like they really know what they're doing. Right away, I really connected with the character 9. Can't say I really connected so much with 12. 12, they're both really smart, like I said. They're made out to be like geniuses or savants or something like that. But with 12, his whole personality of the kind of how do I explain it? Like the kind of like nonchalant, like I'm not really there, like I'm kind of distracted all the time, like that kind of savant, who's like always somehow amused by like the smallest things. I don't know. I just somehow felt like 12's personality was cliche for like that genius savant. They're always like somehow childlike or something like that. That's a good way of putting it. He was really childlike. and I felt like that's really been overdone with the genius savant type thing. So I didn't really connect with 12 so much, but 9 I really connected with. He's got a really interesting personality, and it's yeah, I really liked him. I won't say too much about what goes on in the show, but we do get to know a little bit about the past of 9 and 12, and 9 kind of has a dream sequence that is recurrent throughout the whole show, and I really liked that. That was like the one part of their past that was told in the show. Like, they don't really say what a lot about their past, what went on in their past, except for 9's dream sequence. That's like a big part of the exposition of their past. It's pretty much it. They don't really say too much more about it until the main nemesis is introduced. But yeah, with that dream sequence, I kind of wished, like, because they always replay it, and it's always the same sequence. It only changes one time, but I kind of wish that they would have shown it multiple times, but like they would have had it drawn out a little bit longer and shown you a little bit more each time. Because I feel like I would have really liked to see more of 9's past and 12's past too, but specifically 9. So yeah, that dream sequence, they could have done a lot more with that, I felt, but I still really enjoyed it. Both the characters, their friendship together, it's like they've got a really strong bond, and the way their friendship kind of develops throughout the show is really, really interesting. They're kind of like the only people that look out for each other in the world. Like, I guess they don't have any family or any other friends really, so the bond between them it's really interesting to see how it develops, and when the stakes get really high, like their friendship is kind of challenged a bit, and it's interesting to see. There's also a couple other characters. There's Lisa, a girl that's introduced in the first episode. She's kind of like a romantic involvement a little bit. She was all right. I felt like she was a little bit flat as a character, but like they did a really good job of showing how crappy her life is. But other than that, I didn't feel like she had a whole lot of substance. Like, she was just kind of the character that was willing to get into any kind of trouble because she made like her first friend in the world, and she's ready to sacrifice everything for that friendship or whatever. So she was an alright character. And we really get to know 12 a little bit more through her. And there's also, I believe it is Shibazaki. I'll correct myself after I'm done making this video if that's wrong. But the main police officer, who is assigned to the case, the terrorism case of these two kids. I also forgot to mention they have their own little terrorist organization called Sphinx. And they release videos saying we're gonna set off a bomb in 24 hours or something like that, and then they do it. So that's basically kind of the premise of the show. That's what's driving the show is this Sphinx organization, and their plans to blow up all these different sites. And Shibazaki is the main police officer that's assigned to this case, or one of them at least. And I found him to be pretty interesting as well. Kind of near the end, his character development kind of falls flat a little bit. But as when he first starts out investigating their case, it's really interesting, and I don't feel like that was a cliche type police officer character. Like, that was a really unique take on a detective that I've kind of never seen in a movie or anime before. So I liked Shibazaki as well. What else can I say about it? It had a lot of similarities to things I've seen before. First off, I'm gonna say that I noticed right away a similarity with the anime Monster. For anybody who's seen that, you're probably gonna get that vibe within like the first episode or the second episode. There are quite a few parallels between those two shows. And okay, here's a spoiler alert, because I'm going to talk about the last episode for a second, so skip forward about 45 seconds if you don't want to hear this. But with the last episode, at least the first half of the last episode, I felt like it was so almost identical to the movie Fight Club. It was so close to Fight Club, so close to that ending. And once you watch the anime, or if you've watched it already, you'll understand what I mean. Really, really similar there. But then they also in the second half of the last episode, they do a little bit more, and it goes a little bit further than that Fight Club type ending. But that's something I noticed and kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, but it's all right. I'm still glad they went on with the second half of the last episode and they developed it a bit further as to what happened to all the characters. But yeah, this was a really, really good show. The pacing of the show was just perfect too. Like I had mentioned at the very start, I was like, every episode was entertaining. I felt like the stakes were high. I felt like the story was progressing in a really logical way, and in a way that kept me wanting to watch more. Like, I didn't get sick of it at some point and it's like, oh, I still have 4 episodes left or whatever. Like, I didn't have that feeling at any point. I guess one more point I can make too. I don't know if anybody agrees with me on this one, but this is kind of a spoiler alert too, but not really. So in one episode they're having like a chess game, like it's 9-12, and the nemesis who is introduced about halfway through the show called 5. And they're playing some sort of chess game where 5 is giving her moves over like the airport screens, the TV screens in the airport, and it's like, E3, whatever, will appear on the screen, and then somehow 9 and 12 are supposed to like know exactly what that means, and then they're supposed to like counterattack. It really didn't make any sense. Basically, they were having some sort of real life chess game, but like I play chess myself, and I just didn't understand it. Like, how do they know which pieces were moving? It was just really confusing and kind of stupid, and I don't think it was actually meant to make a whole lot of sense. But that kind of frustrated me because I just didn't understand that, like, how you can play chess that way. If you watch the show, you'll probably understand what I'm talking about when that part comes. But that's something that also frustrated me. But all of that aside, this was a really great show. It's got a really good director, and I think it's got some good ratings too online. So pretty much can't go wrong. Zankyou no Terror, also known as Terror in Resonance. I'm going to give it a strong recommendation. Check it out, guys. I think you'll enjoy it. So this is Maslow, signing out. Thanks a lot. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. One thing I forgot to mention about this anime is the ending left me with a lot of unanswered questions. Just to name a few, who is Vaughn, or what does Vaughn mean? Is it just the tag of 9 and 12, or does it have some specific meaning? What was the real objective of 9 and 12 in blowing up all of those buildings? Were they, spoiler alert, were they just trying to draw attention to the organization that basically abducted them as children? Or were they just trying to be remembered? It never really completely explains any of that. Also, how did 9, 12, and 5 get to know so much about explosives? Did they learn it at this organization where they were raised as children, or was this something extracurricular that they just picked up? Never really touched on at all. So those are just a couple of questions that are completely unanswered. And you know what? I actually sometimes like a show that doesn't answer all the questions in a cut and dry way. So I was okay with those unanswered questions. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and also subscribe. I'm going to have some more content out for you very soon. So thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.